Hi friends, welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are already watching my videos, welcome back. So today we are going to see a brick stitch earrings. This is inspired by Rachel, and she did one with a teardrop design, so I thought why not do it. I really like brick stitch, and I like to do brick stitch against a frame, like around a frame. It feels much more secure to me than around a bead, but this bead calls for it, is what I think. So the thing is, we received this in the bargain bead box, monthly subscription, and these coin beads, which are faceted rhodonite beads, are really amazing, and I really like them. And we have, say, for 8 beads in total. Okay, 7 is here, as you guys can see, and this 3 by 2 millimeter roundel is what I feel this one is. It has that lilac color and that bright coppery color, which is really metallic copper color, I would say, which really is very pretty, and I really like them a lot, and I have utilized them in my designs. We already did a couple of them in the previous videos. So in this video I'm going to show you guys a pattern, a brick stitch pattern that you can do around flat round bead or teardrop beads, which is like a coin shaped bead is what we got. So if you can see on the side, there is space for you, for the beads to rest. You can actually use a bigger size bead, but in this I used 11 seed beads, some 15 seed beads, and these crystals, pretty crystals. And I felt like not doing a contrast, so I went with the flow. That means that I went with the design. I mean, I took the bead, there is black in it, there is rhodonite color, that pinkish purplish color in it, and I didn't want to go overboard. And I found in my stash some of the colors that coincides with this. So I wanted to actually make a earring which is very subtle and not have a lot of contrast, but at the same time very pretty. As you guys can see up close how pretty they are. I wanted it to be seen as an art rather than, wearing matching earrings for your outfit. So that's my idea towards it. But I'm 100% sure that you guys will come up with an amazing contrast beads you got. For some reason, I was a little bit under the weather, I would say, with my back and everything. So I had been taking painkillers and stuff. So I wasn't up at my prime, health. So I was like, okay, so I wanted to do it, and I wanted to do it very subtle. So that's why I picked these colors. This went well with whatever I had that in mind at that point of time. But I'm sure that you guys can come up with a very nice contrast and work with it. So in my stash, I found two kinds of beads. Um, I'm using a Finch Finch ear wire, but you can use lever backs, whatever ear wires you have available, and you can also use wire guardian instead of the seed bead loop that I have here up there. But I just wanted to be seed beady completely throughout this design, so that's why I went with it. I really like the way this turned out to be. I like it a lot. In person it doesn't look this dark, as in camera it looks nice, and it looks nice to me. So I have two colors of 11 seed beads, and that's also a personal preference. You can just use one color, or whatever color contrast, you can use a contrast color. See, the colors that I used, let me show you guys. So one, I had these in my stash. So let me just tilt this so that you guys can see. It might seem as the same color, but there's subtle difference between these. Okay, so the color that is here is more towards, like, not towards the purple, I would say. Okay, and the color over here is more towards the brown side, right? So I picked this color, which is more towards the pink and the purple and the rhodonite color that I want to use. Maybe in person it looks different. In camera it is slightly a bit different. So this is the color that I used for the inner circle, and for the outer circle, this is not, by the way, like the best quality seed beads, as I can see when I was working with it. I wasn't aware of that. And this one is a Japanese Mayuki seed beads, which is a very good brand. I would suggest, if you're doing brick stitch, to use branded seed beads rather than, the non-branded ones. Why? Means the branded seed beads are uniform in size, and brick stitch you are actually displaying the beads in a row, or it's always going to be stacked right next to each other, so it looks very pretty if you have a branded one. So this is cranberry gold luster is the color mix that I'm using. Color combination that I'm using. It's 11 Mayuki seed beads, which is this color, which I really like it a lot. For some reason, I don't know why, but I do like it a lot. I wanted to use copper first because we have a copper metallic shade for half of this crystal, but then I chose not to do it. So this is what I did. And then I grabbed my favorite 15, which is this color, and this one is a metallic iris brown. I always like it. I don't know why, but I really like it a lot. So I have 3 tubes of this in my stash already. So I use some of that for the top part. Okay, and also I used a rhodonite bead, the 6mm faceted rhodonite bead strand that we received in the box. I used that. Somehow drop that inside this pouch. So this is the one I used on the top, and then this coin bead for the main purpose. So we need this way late in our work. And also we need a stopper bead. I like to use a stopper bead for the time being because that's how I like it. So, and needle wise, I am using a size 12 beading needle, and this is about, say, let me see. So I took a wingspan of thread, and I don't know, this is less than an arm span of thread. So a wingspan of thread is what you need. I will save this for a future project. I'm using 6-pound fire line in the black smoke color. Fire line. You can use wildfire or 1G or any thread you want that you have in your stash available. So when you are doing a wingspan, you keep the thread in over here, and then extend your arms like an angel to the sides, and from one end of the finger to the other end is your wingspan. So I'm just going to take a little bit lesser than a wingspan as I need. It's evident that I don't. Okay, need that much. I'm just gonna cut, but always it frays a bit. So I really like to use this sticker and and hide the ends here, so it's easy for me to take it off. See this, it always frays a little bit. Excuse me. Oh, I have a cut right here which I didn't even realize it. See that? I thought it's a dot. Okay, I'm digressing. Okay, my needle might seem a little bit very wonky, but it works. As long as it works, I will use it. This is pony size 12 beading needle, but you can use the tulip beading needles as well. Hold your thread in between your index finger and your thumb and flatten the thread at the tip with your pliers. Okay, just hold it right there. Thread the needle to the thread rather than the thread to the needle. So that's always useful with beading needles. sewing needles, it's a whole lot of different ball game altogether. I'm trying to do it on camera. It always comes out easily without the camera. See how easy it is if you flatten the thread. The thing is, the beading needles, the hole at the end is the same size as a needle, so it's very, very thin, unlike the sewing needles. So you need to be threading the needle to the thread rather than thread to the needle. Okay, so I used Zuron needle nose pliers. This is my favorite tool ever, so that's what I use all the time. So now here we go. We need a stopper bead just for the sake, for the time being, not for the entire project. Maybe you need for the time being. So I take this, okay, and then I put it down all the way towards the tail and take my needle and go from the same direction, okay, just like that, and then pull my needle, pull my thread. So you need a little bit of thread so that you can weave back in, not a lot, but just to say like a couple of centimeters, like 10 centimeters pops. Yeah, 10 centimeters or so, 10 to 12 centimeters is what I have here. And then I have my stopper bead. I take the coin bead, okay, take it and drop it to our stopper bead and go back through the coin bead once again. Okay, instead of the thread lying on the back, I want the thread to lie on the side of the bead, so that I will have a frame to work with for the brick stitch. So instead of the frame, we are using this thread as our frame, and I want the thread to lie on the side. Okay, I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but it's there. So then I want it to be done one more time, so I go back through the coin one more time. So two times we are lining the cord on the side of this coin bead, then again 2 more times on the other side, so we complete the circle. So every time it's a half moon shape, right? So I want it to lie on the side. As you guys can see, this side may be a little bit lighter than the other side. Okay, one more time. So 2 threads. There we go. Pull that nice and tight. So that's what we have so far. Okay. Now we can start our brick stitch. So this is going to be the ones that we are going to use later on. Okay, so this is the one which I would call color A for my project. So the first circle of brick stitch I'm going to do is only with this color. You can alternate it, you can do multiple colors, it's up to you, but I'm doing just this one color. So pick up 2 seed beads, 2 11/0 seed beads. As I said, this is not the best quality, so I need to figure that out. Best seed beads, 2 seed beads, and drop it down. For some reason the other one is not dropping. Okay, drop it down, and then instead of a frame we have, as I said, the wire or the cord, the 2 strands. So go underneath the 2 strands. See how I'm going underneath the 2 strands? That's going to be how we are going to do our brick stitch. Pull the thread up. Now the beads are sitting this way. Okay, go through the second bead in the opposite direction, from the bottom to the top. That will make it sit upright, right next to the hole in the coin bead. Just making sure everything's nice and tight. See how the beads are sitting? If you want, you can go down through the first bead, come back through the second bead, but I am okay with it. Okay, normally we do that in brick stitch, right? So make sure this cord is not floppy and tighten it up as you go by. Okay, so now pick up a second bead, third one. Pick up one bead. From now on we will pick one seed bead and catch the thread underneath and go up through that bead in the opposite direction. That will make it sit upright, right? Just like that, but make sure they are stacked really nicely. And pick up another bead, do the same, go under the thread bridge from behind and go up through the bead. See how that two strands are trying to come up, so we have to make sure that doesn't happen. This is nice and tight. Tighten that up. We want this frame to work in our favor, right? Hold on to that. Okay, now I'm gonna repeat the same thing again and again and again. Pick up a bead, go under the thread bridge here, hold on to that. Okay, go up through that bead. Okay, and there it sits, nice and neat. Okay, pick up another bead. So the number of beads that covers one side of the bead depends upon the quality of the bead that you choose. I'm not using a branded seed bead, so I can just give you a ballpark number, but you will have to figure it out by yourself. As long as it covers the bead, that's good enough. And you don't have to separate the sides. At the end of this earring, it has to look rounded. I'm not looking for anything, a tassel or something like that, so I'm not doing a tassel. Take the next bead, catch the thread bridge underneath. Brick stitch is very monotonous and it's repetitive and it's really nice and relaxing. I really like brick stitch doing it, and the look of the finished project is also rewarding. So what more do we want? So there we go, and then go up through that bead, making sure it's nice and tight and there is no gaps. I want to pick up a nice bead, so there we go. Go up, since I'm using the color which is really very, very in connection with the color of the bead, it's not popping, as you guys can see. At this point, I'm ready to remove my stopper bead because I want to fill this bottom of this with bead, so I just remove that. Pick up a bead. If you can fit that one bead through this loop on one side wherein we started doing with the beads, that's awesome. It might cover the hole, that's totally okay. We don't want the hole to be seen in the bottom. The only place we would want the hole to be seen, not to be seen, there will be a difference that whatever makes us in the start of the project. So now continue picking up a bead, but this time you will catch the thread bridge on the other side of the bead rather than that side. So making sure we have 2 strands and they are together. Okay, just catch that new thread bridge on the other side of the bead and continue the brick stitch process until you reach the top of the bead. There is a couple of ways that you can actually, hold on, let me take the tail thread off. It might be a little bit disturbing, but I want this there. I will finish it up at the end. I will weave that in. Okay, so pick the next one. I mean, this thread is a little bit loose, so making sure they are nice and tight and together. Okay, catch it. Oh, that bead is not proper. As I said, please work with my Yuki or Toho. It saves you a lot of time. I realized this is in my beading journey quite later. So I'll finish up this. So since we are not working with the frame, we are working with the bead and the thread around it. I wouldn't do a longer fringe. Like, it's just my personal opinion, and it's none to do with, I don't even know whether it can withhold or not. But I'm not a big fan of, my earrings, failing or it's falling apart or something like that. I don't like that. So, and I'm not like, for a person who does the beading work, we can understand how it's made, and probably like I can guess, right? We can guess, and if anything goes wrong, we can fix it, and so forth and so on. But people who are buying these earrings from us, if you're selling it, they may not have the patience to handle the beaded earrings the way that you want it to be handled, right? So, and they wouldn't know. It is easy for it to break, and so forth and so on. So if I'm doing around a bead, I wouldn't do a fringe, which jeopardizes, the integrity of the strand. It all depends upon the string around the bead. So how long it can hold, that's $1 million question. So I always doubt myself, and I don't see myself doing that. So that's why I kept this earring to the minimum. I just did 2 rows, and I didn't even do any fringe for that matter. But if I'm working with a frame, I would love to do a fringe. That's the easiest thing that you can do, and it will give a dramatic look to the finished project. So see this, how it's coming up. I really the bead just came out. See, it just moved out. It has to be on the other side. And now hold on to it tightly. That's all you need to do. Okay. So the number of beads around it is about, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 beads for a middle bead as well. I mean, excluding the middle bead, so totally 23 beads would cover this coin bead, the Rhodonite faceted coin bead. Such a pretty one. I like it. So you have a gap. So in this earring, I also have a slight gap, as you guys can see, but not a lot. I filled it up the top as well. So I'm just going to do one more bead, and whichever thread bridge I can get into, I will do that. So one more bead and go underneath and go up. Now comes the fun part. To actually add the start, so what I did here is the next row you can actually complete it, and then we can come and look. So I came like this, but I want to go back like this. Okay, so this is what I'm going to go back to. So I flip my project. So I pick up a crystal. This is 3 by 2 millimeter crystal, and the seed bead in the next color B. So I catch the second thread brush between the second bead and the third bead in this line. Right, that's the first one. This is the second one. Okay, and then go up through that 11 seed bead. Just don't worry about the crystal, it will automatically sit properly. See that? So that's what it is going to be. Okay, I need another bead here, which I can work later. So now pick up a crystal, 11 catch the next thread bridge. So the gauge wherein you are going to catch the thread bridges depends upon how much space you have. Sometimes you might have less space, sometimes you have more space, so that you can accommodate in the next thread bridge. Sometimes you have to skip the thread bridge and go to the second one. So it depends upon how it feels at that point. So the thing is, in this I'm going to the immediate thread bridge and I'm seeing whether it will be fine or not. It will actually even it out, so you don't have to worry about it much. But that's what pretty much you're going to do for the second row of this brick stitch. Pick up a crystal, come on. Okay, skip the thread bridge and go to the second thread bridge and come up through that 11 seed bead. You can reinforce it when you come about the next time, so don't worry about it. If it is a little bit floppy, it's okay. You're going to reinforce it. So I will finish doing this row and come back and show you guys how we can add the top 6 millimeter and the bail part for your ear wire. So we are at that point. I have finished this and I am here to add the top bead and everything. So as you guys can see, there is no 11 seed beads at this end. There is only at that end, right? So we need to add that, but that's okay. We can come back to that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 6mm bead. Okay, this is a rhodonite faceted 6mm, and I'm going to take 5 of this 11 seed beads. I'm taking this color, but you can take the color B, but you can take any color you want. Just 5 of these. Drop it down. Take one more bead because I want a bead right here, right? So, and then I go down through that 11 in the first row, right? Just to finish up the pattern. So it'll all make sense when I pull. No, sorry about that. I did a mistake. Let's see if I can fix that mistake. Okay. So, okay. Take 5 seed beads. Okay. And come back through the 6mm. Okay, see how the loop sits. Now pick up that 11 seed bead and go down through that initial 11 in the first row. So now you finish up this pattern, as you guys can see, right? So the pattern is done now. So we have to reinforce this. So we can reinforce in several ways, but now I want to go up here, come back through, come down here, and I want to come out of this 11 seed beads. Okay, we are going to add the 15 right now. So I want to come back through this 11 seed bead I just added. So the way you want to come back, it's totally up to you, but we can do this. We can just go through this and through the next one, the other 11, we can come back through that and finish up the pattern instead of going to the side and everywhere. So now I pick up, let me see, I think 7 3 3 1 2 3, yes, 7 15 These are Toho. By the way, if you're using Mayuki, the number of beads will differ slightly a bit. Maybe you need 8. So that's 5 6 7, okay, 7 seed beads. And I like to turn my work and then go up through this top loop of 11 seed beads that we have. Okay, and then we will reinforce this loop because that's how we are going to add the ear wire to our project. We still have our tail thread which comes in between, but that's okay. Come down and come down through the 6mm. Okay, so now again the same path, go down through that and the bottom row 11 seed beads, and then go up through this and then the 11 in the second row. Now I'm in position to add the set of 15 right here. Again, and then take it up through that 11 loop on the top This way you will actually frame the 6mm bead, plus also we can reinforce this loop multiple times. Okay, then go down to the 6mm. Okay, so we have added the 11 as you guys can see. That's how it's gonna sit, and it looks pretty. Now we have finished the earring. All you need to do is reinforce the thread. So I just came back this way, so I'm just going to go down through the 11 through that, and you can even come the other side through the coin bead. Okay, just setting everything up. So now here is your chance to actually, hold on one sec, let me just go through that side. So we have our tail thread. Oops. And the working thread in the same place. Now is a chance for you actually hold on. I'm using a new glasses, so it's kind of making me okay, there we go. Take this off. I don't want this to be looping around. So I'll take this off and then take it off that way. So your tail thread and the starting thread is here. You can knot a couple of knots. That's what I want to do. So now I'm going to actually thread this in again, and then do a couple of half-inch knots and go around the work a couple of times, and then snip off the thread. That's all you have to do. It's pretty much done, but I need to flatten this so that it can go through my needle. So I really want to use the 1G thread everybody is talking about. I even bought one, but somehow I tend to go to this fire line again and again. Why, I don't know. But I really like the Miyuki thread as well. For fringes and stuff, I really like that. Even for brick stitch, I do like that. So here we go. It's at the same point, just that this is behind the work. Now it's together. So what I do is I just take the end and do regular overhand knot, right over left underneath, and pull through one knot and one more knot. Okay, just like that. And then I continue reinforcing the work by going through a couple of beads here and there. Even though this needle is wonky, it actually helps me to navigate through the beads much easily. So that's why I still use them. See that? Just make sure this doesn't escape, and go down, hold it with your fingers and come back. Sometimes you will have to go through one bead at a time, but that's okay. Take your time. Don't rush things through. It is never good. Okay, there we go. So these are very delicate earrings. So when I'm here, I try to catch the thread bridge between the 11 seed bead and the crystal, and then tie a knot, make a loop, go through that loop once, tie that knot, and put your needle through that crystal, so the knot will be hidden underneath the crystal, inside the crystal. So there we go, and go down and come up. So that's what I'm gonna do through the entire work. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go back and forth, reinforce, tie some knots, do the same with the tail thread, and then finish it off. Make a loop, go through the loop, make sure the knot is not going anywhere and trying to catch a bead or so inside. Just make sure it doesn't. I tried to do a third row, I didn't like it, so I just said okay. Plus, as you guys can see, there is no frame that we are working on. We are working on the thread, the two threads that we lined the bead with. So it's pretty, for me it's a very delicate stuff. So I shall prefer to keep this at this level, but the top loop we have reinforced nicely. The 15 seed beads we haven't. You can go through that. I'm gonna do that when I go up, and with the tail thread I'm gonna finish doing reinforcing the other side of this. I'll meet you guys back once I'm done with that. I finished reinforcing. I take the thread zap, okay, beadsman's thread zap, and then I just use it to snip off my thread. See that? So you just keep at it and just it will melt into a ball. There we go. So that's what we use, and here is our earrings. All we need to do is take our ear wire, open up this loop how you would open a jump ring, just swing back this way, okay, and then add it to the top loop. I chose the lever back over the fringe wire over lever back just for this reason, because the loop needs to be big enough to accommodate 11 seed bead, which is on the top. If you are using a wire guardian, you can choose to use lever back, is what I feel. So this is my earring, And I really like the way this turned out to be. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week. Thanks so much for watching. You can do this with different color combination with all these eight of this coin beads, because two of them are somewhat similar. These are the ones which is extremely different, so these two are similar. So I can fish out these two and make a pair here, with completely, a different color combination. And you can also use some gemstones here around. That will make a much difference. And also try different combinations of 11 of seed beads, 15 of seed beads. Add a bead on top, add a bead at the bottom. Use the bicones that we got from the box. So much that you can do. You can even add a toggle. I mean, this toggle clasp was really ornate that I didn't even use in my project yet. You can actually have this here, so that'll form a really nice pretty earrings as well. So there's a lot of opportunities to do. So do try this out, and if you really like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. It doesn't cost anything. If you'd like to really support my channel, there is a heart symbol and thanks written right next to it in the bottom description box below. You can click on it and donate as much as you can. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye bye. I would love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to leave a comment below. See you in the next video.